Welcome, welcome everyone to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into something that might uh, really shift how you look at history. It's this concept of the Great Reset.
Hmm.
But here's the interesting part. Our sources, they suggest it's not just one big thing in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like the end result of many smaller, profane mini resets that have already gone down. And just a reminder, like always, our job here is to unpack the ideas in your source material. We're exploring them with you, not, stamping them approved or disapproved.
Well,
Okay, so let's get into it. These mini resets, the sources describe them as rehearsals,
rehearsals, yeah.
run by this group called the O Club. Sounds like a secret society.
That's how they frame it.
And the goal is clearing the board, reshaping the pen,
Yeah.
which they define as our world, like a controlled space all
Right.
for whatever agenda they're pushing.
And what's really fascinating is how these events, things we learn about as just, history, wars, revolutions, big inventions.
Standard stuff.
Exactly. But the sources paint them with this deeper, much more deliberate purpose. They're seen as like prep work for the final game. That's their term for the ultimate setup, the global power structure they're aiming for.
That is a different lens on historical patterns, isn't it? So,
Okay.
okay, let's look at specifics. First up, the sources talk about a social reset.
Mm-hmm.
And the big example is the Industrial Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
They even give it this very specific code name, industrial.
Yeah, I saw that. The definition they give is pretty stark. A trial for the people of dust inside the pen.
Wow. So what was the point of this trial, according to the sources?
Well, connecting it up, the idea was to disconnect humanity, pull people away from natural rhythms, the cosmic stuff, what they call the farmer's influence.
The farmer, like
Yeah.
a natural guiding force.
Sort of, yeah. And shift everyone onto the factory clock, artificial mechanical time. This, they claim, created a kind of static, sensory, spiritual static that messed with our lunar connection,
Okay.
jammed the link to the Kai system, the supposed ancient energy network.
And how did they do it?
Yeah.
The method.
By engineering a profane revolution. Profane meaning, artificial, not natural, a false cycle.
Yeah.
This herded the pawns, that's us, regular people,
Right.
into dense cities. And that basically established the modern game of wage slavery. So the takeaway there is that our 9-to-5 grind might not be just how things evolved. It could be a deliberate disconnection.
Okay, so the social reset changes our connection to time, to nature, setting the stage maybe,
Seems like it.
which leads to the next phase the sources describe,
Mhm.
a political reset, reshaping power itself. They call these the staged wars.
Not just conflicts, right?
No, exactly. The sources say they're like theatrical performances, a huge pantomime to rearrange the game board. They give examples like the Norman Conquest, 1066,
Okay.
described as a practice run, a rehearsal for the final boss,
Mm-hmm.
whoever or whatever that
Or
is.
wiping out the old order.
Yeah, the Anglo-Saxons call the fading CH program. And then rebuilding the realm, started with the Tower of London.
Which they call the rook, like a chess piece.
Exactly. Then, fast forward, the American Revolution, 1776. The sources call that the in the pen dance, like a choreographed split
A divorce, yeah.
to create two pillars of control, Old World London, New World Washington.
Interesting. And the world wars.
Oh, yeah. WWI and WWII portrayed as these massive, almost ritualistic blood sacrifices
For what purpose?
to smash the old empires and bring in the modern global penitentiary. And they point out treaties signed by the Trinity, U.S., U.K., France, form things like the UN, NATO,
Yeah.
the institutions of the current game.
It really makes you look at those historical turning points differently if you consider this perspective.
It does. So after the wars, the political shifts.
Yeah.
What's next?
Well, often following these big military resets, the sources describe a third type, the historical reset, or the Great Excavation. This apparently happened under some kind of cover story.
Like what?
Well, the real goal, they say, was finding, grabbing, and then erasing evidence of previous cycles, erasing earlier histories.
And the examples for this are wild. The gold rushes, California, Australia.
Gold, right. That's what we learned.
But these sources say, nope, it was a trick, a ruse to get tons of workers into specific areas.
Why?
Because cities from a previous cycle, they mention names like Tototique or the Tartarian Empire.
Okay, alleged lost civilizations.
Right, they were buried there. So the pawns, the workers, dug for gold.
Well, the players, the OK Club, were actually digging up lost lore, hidden knowledge.
Wow. Okay, what else?
The Reconstruction era, after the U.S. Civil War,
Yeah.
sources claim the war itself was used to destroy old architecture, old world buildings in the South,
And Reconstruction.
was basically cover for demolishing whatever was left,
Yeah.
then rebuilding to fit a new industrial blueprint.
Huh. And then there are the Great Fires. London, San Francisco.
Ah, the accidents.
Exactly. Sources say once the excavation in an area was done, these huge fires weren't accidents. They were controlled demolitions.
To do what? Burn away the last bits?
Burn away the last traces of these resurrected old cities. Clear the slate so the players could build new cities, fitting their profane narrative, their manufactured history.
So putting it all together, these mini resets, they're not random, according to this view. They're the mechanics, the gears of the game, how the Okoteb tests its control systems, manages the pawns, and sets the world stage.
Prepping for something bigger.
Yeah, continuously preparing.
It really frames history as a series of deliberate moves, doesn't it? All these actions presented as steps towards that one final divine reset.
The one the players supposedly anticipate and also fear.
Which leaves a big question hanging, right? So, for you listening, if this framework has any truth to it, what might the OK Club be prepping for next? And what subtle mini resets hidden in plain sight could be happening right now? Something to think about.